I don't know why I'm whispering. But anyway, yes, flashback to child Lucas, back on the Witchetty Grub base where, yeah, this is the place where Eucus and Markus used to live. Eucus and Markus are good buddies.
Wake up, Markus, it's time. Hurry up, we don't have much time.
Are you sure you want to go, Lucas? It could be dangerous.
We have to go in there ready for anything, Markus, right? Maybe there'll be an alien spaceship inside, or the tomb of an ancient king and all of his treasure.
Or a giant frozen dinosaur? And what if it's a secret weapon to take over the world?
Come on, let's hurry. The hangar's gonna be well guarded. We better get going if we don't want Mom and Dad to catch us.
Pretty ballsy kid, all things considered, that he didn't want to play with the kids beforehand, doing dangerous shit in the hangar, and mind you, this does take place after the fact, you know, regardless of whether or not you save the kids, and apparently Lucas wants to break into this hangar again. We're not given any specific reason. I suppose they meant to chalk it up to, like, childish whimsy, like, oh wow, it could be a spaceship or a king with his buried treasure. But I mean, really, it kind of gives you the impression that there was meant to be more to this chapter to give Lucas a bit of a stronger inclination to investigate the hangar than that, and, you know, later on you do actually get a cutscene that sort of shows why Lucas would have been interested to begin with, but something tells me it should have been placed earlier on.
Don't move or I'll shoot!
Don't shoot, sir! We're just kids! We're the Kane boys!
What the hell are you doing out here at this hour? Get back to your home immediately.
You're crazy, Lucas. We're lucky that he let us go. But if he catches us again, they're gonna beat our butts.
You do what you want, Markus. I'm going back.
Ah, the 80s. Back when you were able to beat your child. Well, other people were also able to beat your children. Actually, I think that probably might have been a bit taboo even post-1980s. Whatever. I'm sure on a very stern military base like this, it was probably still legal. But in any case, so, yeah, this is the second cell segment, which is kind of cap a shit, for the same reasons that I mentioned beforehand in the earlier one. Again, their field of vision extends pretty much, you know, directly in the direction they're facing, so, yeah, I'd say it kind of works on, like, classic Metal Gear logic in the sense that, again, if they're looking in a certain direction, they will see you regardless of how far away you are, because, you know, they do have things like peripheral vision and can see things beyond their, you know, little cone FOV, for lack of a better phrase. So, yeah, needless to say, you really need to be careful, but by that same token, you also need to judge and gauge, like, where exactly these characters are facing at that point in time, using your own level of distance. So, yeah, even if you're all the way there behind the rocks, you'll somehow teleport in front of them, much closer than what they otherwise would be, just so they can see you and do the whole "dumb over, I'll shout." But yeah, for all these reasons and more, the stealth sequence sucks, and quite frankly, you just gotta wait for them to sort of turn around, thankfully with that helpful camera angle. It doesn't really help that much, but, again, I'd say it's unnecessary considering that we already know sort of what's going on at the moment, but by that same token though, and especially given what I mentioned beforehand with Lucas's apparent fascination with the, you know, what's inside the hangar and what his scientific parents were working on, I get the impression that this sequence was probably meant to happen much earlier on in the second act of the thing, like, but again, the way in which they sort of spaced it out in terms of the gameplay, especially considering the fact that we've now jumped past the second act and are now into the third, you know, with the whole, oh no, Lucas apparently died along with Tiffany whole thing. Yeah, we're pretty much in Act 3 right now, and it doesn't really develop anything that the third act should really be building up in terms of anything else. Now, initially what I thought this was building up was that it was going to be building up, you know, who we'll later come to learn as the Purple Clan, but we don't actually get to learn what that is until, well, I mean, as far as in terms of parts here, actually, you guys are probably not going to be learning it until the next part. But, yeah, we actually are heading towards the endgame rather speedily here, and, I mean, again, we already have our central conflict of trying to rescue the Indigo Child from, you know, the Orange Clan, and, you know, sort of trying to put a stop to this whole Indigo prophecy from ever taking place, but by that same token, we also don't really know much else about anything, really. So, really, it's just kind of, yeah, the plot sort of speeds along without giving you a moment to breathe, and you don't really have a chance to really sort of set up the details or learn much of anything, really. But in any case, so all that aside, you can't cheat the system, you can't walk across, the wooden boards of other people's houses, skirt over, flotsam and rubbish bins all around. Because of course you can't, and even though Markus was caught right then and there on the searchlight, he doesn't trigger the alarms. I suppose I should be thankful for small mercies that David Cage didn't do the whole, well, your partner character can get caught and die for realism. You see, it is the real emotion if you have stupid AI to fuck with you.
We can't go any further. That soldier's blocking the way.
One of us should sneak around the back and find a way to avoid him.
Oh god, when will my suffering end? Well, the 12th of never, apparently. Either way, though, I guess to kind of talk more specifically about what this section is really sort of leading up to, it is pretty much sort of setting the stage for, where the quote-unquote final boss encounter for the game is going to be. But, yeah, it's, the revelation of what we're going to be seeing is, I don't want to say it's disappointing, but by that same token, though, it's something that where I kind of wish there was more, build-up as to what what we're eventually going to see anyway. But in any case, so I guess to kind of talk about in terms of the fact that we are in the very much the end game of Fahrenheit, yeah, it's entirely possible I might actually get this game finished tonight if I'm motivated enough. I mean, I might save the bonus videos and such for tomorrow, but yeah, in terms of covering like most of the game and getting all these parts recorded, yeah, that is a distinct possibility. There we go. We've gone as far as we can be. Or maybe a little bit further. But yes, I technically told a lie before. The section where Markus could potentially die against the Oracle. No, here we technically get to control young Markus. Well, does it really count if it's young Markus? Because, I mean, it doesn't really get to do much of anything here, really. Well, I mean, you get to move him around with the analog stick, so I guess that counts as playing as Markus. Oh, Lord. In any case, so, yeah, to kind of talk more about Witchetty Grub Base, yeah, this is here where we get to sort of, well, learn a few more things about what they were experimenting with. Namely, that what's inside that hangar is, well, a mysterious source of power that, needless to say, is where all things converge.
Now what?
The only way to get to the hangar without being seen is to climb up the telephone pole and hang off of the cable.
Impossible. That pole is right under the guard's nose.
I know, but there's no other way.
Listen, I'm gonna try to get him to look the other way. Meanwhile, you run and climb up the pole. I'll try to set it up so you have enough time.
Okay, but how are you gonna get in?
I'll meet you back at the house. You tell me everything when you get back. At least that way we'll know for sure whether there's a flying saucer in that hangar.
To be completely honest, I wouldn't have been surprised if it had been a flying saucer, and given a certain plot twist later on, revolving around the Purple Clan that is yet to reveal themselves, I was actually kind of expecting that to be the twist that would have been inside the hangar, but no. And I don't even really know why I was keeping it a secret, because what Lucas discovers inside the hangar, that we don't really get to see until the final boss encounter, is, well, an untapped wellspring of chroma energy, which, again, as you'll learn a little bit later on, is where Lucas got his powers from, because when his parents discovered that initial source of chroma energy, Lucas's mother was pregnant while, examining that sort of radiation energy unshielded, really, so that's why Lucas is pretty much able to utilize the chroma while he has all his special abilities. And indeed, well, yeah, that pretty much been the end of that. There is another thing that I do want to bring up in regards to the chroma energy that I also thought was initially going to be inside that bunker, and I suppose might have been as a result of how, well, the Purple Clan got started, to kind of cut a bit of a spoiler and a clue here, but yeah, as for anything else, you don't really get much in the way of information as to, well, the Purple Clan at all, and even in that case, the fact that, does that mean that, anybody exposed to chroma energy, or I guess in utero, could technically have the same sort of abilities as Lucas, and moreover, why none of the scientists or anybody came to that conclusion? I guess the general idea is that, perhaps the Orange Clan wanted to keep all the sources of chroma energy for themselves. I suppose hence part of the reason why the Oracle has such powers, and why those in a position of power, the whole shadow government, Illuminati kind of bullshit, that we saw previously in the council sessions with the Oracle, are there to maintain their power for as long as they have. But even then, that's something that would have had to have been further developed in the game, which, again, for the fact that we had a startling lack of development in the second act, and you're going to see is, you know, even more of a case in the third act, it just comes across as a whole section of, well, yeah, it's just sort of there for you to sort of assume, and for the rest of the developers to sort of go, holy shit, we have no means of developing our game, we pretty much need to cut everything at the seams and pretty much finish development right here, right now, while it's sexy and hot, and we can work on our new, you know, game engine for Heavy Rain. Which, I mean, again, for the sake of Fahrenheit's story, I feel is a little bit saddening, because again, a lot of the elements of the plot does introduce are interesting, but, again, it just doesn't quite get developed as much as it should. Oh my god!
Good.
So yeah, this is pretty much the Orange Clan celebrating that Lucas is dead. Wee-haw, woohoo, and yeah, find the Indigo Child and come and receive your paycheck, Mayan Oracle. But I mean, yeah, like, part of the reason why they seek out the Indigo Child is so that these people can live forever, you know, seeking the question of life and whatnot, but again, they seem to control the world anyway, they seem to have access to a ready-made source of chroma, so why do they even need eternal life when they already seem to have a pretty good grip on things to begin with?
When I got the call, I didn't hesitate for 1 second. I came without telling anybody, not even Tyler. All I knew is that I was supposed to go to the grave of somebody who'd just been buried that morning. Tiffany Harper, Lucas Kane's ex-girlfriend.
And reusing the same graveyard area that we saw with, you know, Mary and John Kane's graves. Again, I'm gonna assume that the fact that they discovered the chroma, the fact that, I suppose either they wanted to keep the secret of it buried for Lucas's sake was what resulted in their accident back in the late 90s, or I suppose the other explanation being is that they just sort of died as a random one-off accident. I don't know, these sorts of things would have been interesting to learn and discover with a more developed game, but again, sadly, the episodic thing... Because, I mean, I think Fahrenheit did come out in that era where episodic gaming wasn't quite much of a thing yet. But, yeah, it's a bit of a shame that the game never really panned out the way in which that it should have, so... Yeah, just sad, really.
She was a good person. She didn't have anything to do with all of this. You didn't come here to arrest me. You know that I'm not the one responsible for all of those murders.
Oh yeah? And what makes you say that?
I hear your thoughts. I know that this case has disturbed you enough to make you listen to what I have to say.
That's weird. No steam comes out of his mouth when he talks, like his breath was already cold. Well then, who is the real killer?
I don't know his name. I don't even know if there's anyone alive who does. All that I do know is that he's a Mayan oracle who has the power to erase all memory of his existence from anyone who sees him.
The Oracle isn't acting alone, is he?
He belongs to a secret clan who have united the most powerful beings on Earth. Their power has no limit, and they'll do anything to get the Indigo Child.
You mean the Orange Clan?
You already know about them?
I went to see one of the murderers in an asylum. He talked about the Orange Clan. Oh, this is just unbelievable. But his story is consistent. It seems to fit with what I already know. And your apartment? When we came to arrest you, the walls were covered with ritualistic symbols and articles about the murder cut out of the paper.
It was all arranged to make me the ideal suspect. The Oracle and the Orange Clan were behind all that.
How did you learn all of this?
I just know, that's all. The question isn't whether what I'm saying is true or not. The question is, are you going to help me?
Why are you telling me all of this?
Because you're the only person who knows that what I'm saying is true.
And even if you're right, what can we do about it? Nobody's gonna believe all this. And if the Oracle really has all these powers, what can we do to stop him?
Find the Indigo Child before he does, and hide her someplace safe.
Do you know where she is?
Not yet, but I'll find her. I see through the eyes of the Oracle during his visions. If he sees her, I'll see her.
This is just insane. I cannot believe I'm actually sitting here talking about saving the world with a fugitive wanted by every police department in the country.
You're free to choose which side you're on. You can arrest me, or you can trust me and help me save the child. But you must decide quickly. I haven't got much time.
What am I supposed to do? If he's lying, I'm aiding a murderer and I'll go to prison. But if he's telling the truth, I have to help him. So, either you're crazy or you're some kind of hero.
Neither one nor the other. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
His hand. It's as cold as ice.
Yeah, ice. And thus begins the forced relationship of Carla and Lucas right over Tiffany's grave. God, that kind of seems like a bit of a middle finger to any sort of relationship that you have. I know people have to move on from, lost loved ones at some point, but at the same time, though, I don't want you to move on to another woman immediately after my fucking death. I mean, that's, give it some time. For fuck's sake. But in any case, though, yes, we continue to select our characters. One of the last times in the game where we actually get to do that. We finally find out where Jade, the Indigo Child, is actually located, as she beckons us forth. Yes, we learn that she's kept in an orphanage, as we'll soon see by the lapel on her little school uniform thing. I guess it's also like an educational place as well, being taught by the sisters of the little convent there. But yeah, this is pretty much where Lucas and by extension the Oracles learn where the Indigo Child is, so yeah, at this stage it's a race against time, as Lucas is staying with Carla. This being about all we get of their budding relationship, so yeah, let's just assume them hanging out in their undies is pretty much all we need to know about them. So yeah, falling in love with the Deadman. Could this truly be the theory of the Deadman that we truly crave? Santa Monica, Nickelback Light, yeah, yeehaw, and yeah.
Almost the entire country is now without water and electricity services. The army has been mobilized to help provide shelter and basic necessities, but the cold and snow have hampered ground movement, and storms have shut down every airport in the country. Scientists are still unable to fully explain the reason behind the cold wave which has now gripped the entire planet. Temperatures continue to fall everywhere in the world as authorities ponder.
Well, our job is done. Now it's up to the army to do what they can to help the population. Carla, you should get some sleep. You haven't closed your eyes in 2 days.
I have to get warm to do that. I'm solid ice from head to toe.
Yeah. Hey, look, can I get real with you here for a sec, Carla?
I think it's probably now or never.
I get the feeling you're hiding something from me on this Kane thing. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. I found him, but I think he's innocent. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to get you involved, Tyler. You mad at me?
Nah, of course not. Plus, with everything that's going on now, I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway, as long as you do what you think is right, you can't go too wrong.
Looks like somebody just did, Tyler. There's a girl waiting for you. But what will you choose to be? Will you be there for her? Or will you leave her? By the way, this is Tyler's last chapter. Again, I wasn't joking earlier when I said that he gets the short end of the stick, because, yeah, there are two choices you can make here. Either you can leave off to Florida with Sam using the last train available out of New York to try and escape the cold, or you can choose to stay and completely tank Tyler's mental health. Not that said decision really makes any difference anyway, because it's the last time we see Tyler, but quite frankly, it would have been nice to have at least seen him again, you know, presuming you make the opposite choice that I'm going to be making here, but otherwise, for the sake of Tyler's happiness, just let him go with Sam. I really don't know why the whole, oh no, you have to stay with the police force, I've seen too much violence in my life, man, was such a big thing to begin with, because he seems to sort of accept it right here and now. I guess when the chips are down, his heart makes the right decision, and, you know, when it's sort of put to the test, but,
Sam, what are you doing here, babe?
There's a train leaving in 1 hour for Florida. It'll probably be the last one for a long time. I'll be on it, Tyler. With or without you. If you really love me, quit the police and come with me. When this cold stops, we'll get on with our lives. Our new, normal lives. It's time to make a choice, Tyler.
Oh, I love you too damn much, Sam. I wouldn't let you go for anything in the world.
Tyler, I was so afraid of losing you.
I'll be with you in a minute.
So yeah, I mean, Tyler does technically get a happy ending, I suppose, but I mean, by that same token, I really don't know what to say. Be with the one you love, dudes. Catch you later.
Carla,
As long as you do what you think is right, you can't go too wrong. Good luck in Florida, Tyler.